Hi everyone. So I want to start, somebody said that to catch people's attention, you need to start with some controversial remark. So I'd like to refer to the rumors that The Princess Bride is going to be remade.
No.
And the controversial remark is that I think there's no problem that I see no problem with Princess Bride being remade. But for our purposes, I want to ask a question. Is true sales and marketing alignment a fairy tale? Or can it really exist? Okay? So we'll see if by the end of the presentation we can find an answer to that. Who hasn't seen The Princess Bride? Raise your hand.
She didn't. We just talked about it.
Really?
Sorry about that, but that in my development.
Get out.
Okay. So this is a story, the Princess Bride, no, the marketing sales alignment is a story of really two separate departments, right? They have different heads. They have, they are measured on different things, in most places at least, or in many places. Most of the time, you'll find them using different tools. So sales could be using their prospecting and sales automation and CRM tools, while marketing would use their own lead generation and marketing automation tools. They are compensated differently, okay, which is maybe an issue and maybe it's not, depending on your point of view. One department is in the business of building one-on-one relationships in order to drive forward the sale and close it, while the other department is mostly focused on building one-to-many relationships, which is what marketing does most of the time. One is considered the main revenue driver for the organization, while the other is often perceived as a cost center. Sorry for saying that, marketers. You know it's the truth, come on. Testify. So if that's the case, if we're talking about two very distinct entities, can alignment really exist? That's the question. Right. So our story begins with that mystery in mind, okay? Can marketing and sales work together to make alignment work, to save Wesley? Everybody agrees everybody, if you go and ask them, everybody will always pay lip service to the notion that alignment must happen, it's working, it's there, and if it doesn't, then the world ends and the company fails. And the managers would say that, and the heads of marketing and sales will say that. And they will say it's the only way to defeat really low lead to MQL to SQL conversion rates, low lead to opportunity conversion rates, which are, by the way, the ways that you can identify problems in alignment. So misalignment in organization is where you have decent funnel conversion rates within the lead, the marketing funnel, the lead to MQL funnel, but then twisted sort of unhealthy conversion rates between MQLs, SQLs, and especially MQLs and opportunity and close. So if you have a healthy funnel like the one Maayan showed, you are in a good place, okay? But often, in many cases, funnels don't look so clean and healthy in terms of the process working entirely together. So all they need to do is figure out a way to work together, right? It's easy. It's easy. It has to be. Must be easy to put in place. Because everybody has the same objective. And the objective is to maximize revenue by improving the conversion rates throughout the funnel through better alignment. That's a mantra. You say that, nobody will say, no. That's not our objective. Everybody will agree. So what I'm going to try and show you in the next few slides, short, basically, slides, is what we've learned being a HubSpot agency, being a marketing operations consultancy in our highest capacity. What we've seen working for companies of different sizes and shapes. I'm going to talk about startups, so small companies, small businesses. We're going to talk about mid-sized companies, and we're going to talk about enterprises. And we're going to see how sales and marketing alignment is done from the trenches. So if I'm not in the beginning from Magic was talking about the strategy, how to shift an organization's strategy into a different mindset and making everybody work together towards that goal. And Mayan took us through the workings of a successful campaign end-to-end from leads to deals being closed. I'm going to go even deeper into the workings of alignment and show you how it looks from the bottom up. Okay? So, what we've seen working, and again, it's across any organization of any size. The scale will be different, yes, but the principles are always the same. Number one, agreed process. Sounds simple, sounds like table stakes, and in many cases it is, but not always. Often you'll come in, you'll be asking, okay, show me the process for moving inquiries from lead stage to your closed one. And I say, yeah, of course, here's the process, I'll show you the process, and in a matter of 2 minutes you'll find 10 friction points that basically manifest in the fact that the conversion rates suck the further down the funnel that we go. And that's because there is a process, but not everybody agrees on it and is on the same page. Once you have a agreed process, you can apply any combination, whatever works basically. But what we've seen work is a combination of automated, semi-automated manual alerts, tasks, okay, using tasks as a basic component, an integral component of aligning between marketing and sales, and we'll see very solid examples of that. And if you're using Salesforce as your CRM, using campaign memberships as sort of a bridging element between marketing and sales to talk about the same thing. Okay, remember, we're talking about two very different departments, so lots of differences between them. So we need to align also on the language. So this is what Vizini would say if you told him, hey, I want alignment, but you cannot show and prove that you have an agreed process. So let's look at the example. Let's start with small-scale companies. Companies, actually startups, that are in their pre-scale, before scaling up. So these companies generate anywhere between the tens and the low hundreds of leads per month. Usually there'll be no SDRs or just a couple or 2-3 salespeople who can handle that, that load. And this is where you'll find this process. This is almost a template, okay? If you look at it from, it's a bit small sometimes to see, but the concept will be familiar to anybody who's ever implemented any marketing operations or marketing and sales structure in any organization. You have leads coming in from different sources, and you take them through steps with very well-defined criteria for leads to move, people to move, and accounts to move between the steps. Okay, so almost a template. And everybody agrees marketing should do the marketing leads and the MQLs, and then in the MQL, there'll be some handover, turning into opportunity, turning into closed one. You can manage all that entirely in HubSpot if you have both the CRM and the marketing hub and the sales hub, you can close the whole loop in one system. But it works the same way if you have other tools in place. Okay, and it even works, that process works if you're not, even if you're not automating everything. If you don't have, you know, all the tools in place, or you don't want to rely, or your scale is too small in order to automate everything. In this example, the company that implemented that uses HubSpot for the marketing part. When a lead reaches the qualification criteria, it's not just sent through digital channels somewhere to a CRM for a salesperson to work on. They actually vet the lead, create sort of a small book, small document about that prospect, about that person and the company they work in, and pass it on almost in, you know, but almost in hand. I mean, it's not. I can almost imagine them printing it and giving it to the salesperson. Why? Because they're prior to scale. They haven't scaled yet. The volumes allow for that. Okay? So the MQLs are passed. The ML manually assigned, that's fine. Okay? Manually doing things when you have the right process is fine. That's the whole message here. When you have a good process like that, you can switch the tools. Okay, you have Salesforce. No, you can use HubSpot to implement completely the same thing. Or you could use, maybe you, for some reason, you implemented NetSuite as your CRM. This is an example of another startup, same scale, same amount of leads and team, you know, the head count. And almost the same process, or basically the same process. But they use a different CRM. They use NetSuite. And you can still implement it easily, just by making sure that the handover, the point of handover between the marketing and the sale is well taken care of. So easy, simple, right? Keep it simple. Let's move up the chain, okay? Let's talk about now a medium-sized organization. With a much more complex sales cycle. Okay, we're talking about a B2B in the insurance space in the US, and they sell B2B. It's an insurance, but they sell B2B. And the concept here is that they have used, okay, the process there is that they have campaigns, okay? They marketing manages campaigns in different channels. One of the main channels for the campaigns is email. And the way they connect then to the sales process, which is very complex, is that they use tasks. So in this case, they trigger tasks, okay, in the CRM for the sales owners, specifically on very specific campaign reactions, by which they can automate with their marketing automation. Okay, so they measure that. They measure how many tasks were open, how many tasks were completed. There are two different tasks that are being created based on the calls to actions in their campaign. So one call to action is a soft one. It's about consuming content. So you don't want to pass that on immediately to a salesperson when that happens, but at some threshold you may want to do that. Okay, so they're counting engagements in the campaign, in the program context, and once that threshold takes hold, they create a soft follow-up task, okay, for the salesperson. Or it could be a callback. So each element of their campaign has a secondary call to action that says, make sure someone calls me. Okay, I want to receive a call from a salesperson. And whenever that happens, yes, for sure, create a callback task. And what this structure gives you, okay, we're talking about, it cannot be as easy as the previous process we've seen. The sales cycle is more complex. The steps in it are more complex. So we need to use bridging elements between just an MQL and an SQL opportunity, and tasks, and opening tasks. Whether, again, it doesn't matter if you're using, which system you're using. If the system can create tasks out of decisions that marketing makes, you're good, okay? Well, that's another concept. Let's move up again in the scale of the company. So in this case, we're looking at more or less the same funnel. By the way, funnels are always the same. Okay, no matter if the marketing ready leads are what we called previously marketing leads. Sales ready leads are really MQL. So the terminology, remember, as long as everybody agrees on it, the terminology is not the important thing here. So we have marketing automation here working in concert with CRM, working in concert with analytics, web analytics tools, and using and tagging each lead as it goes through the funnel with just the right information to achieve two things. One is to use a consistent terminology and taxonomy for tracking performance, regardless of the campaign and the channel and the assets being used. But more importantly, for communication with sales. Again, this is an example of an enterprise, global locations, global offices, different regional marketing teams, above 100, more than 100 salespeople in different capacities, and without having such a process and that kind of agreement, really, you cannot make these funnels work. Okay, the principles, the point here is that the principles are the same as small-scale companies. Okay, in this case, again, they're using, so we talked about using manual assignments of leads as a way to do the handover between marketing and sales. We saw an example of using tasks, okay, to pass leads from marketing to sales. This is an example of using campaign membership as the mechanism of passing the lead from marketing to sales. How many people here have Salesforce CRM and use campaigns in order to communicate between marketing and sales? Okay. So it's a very powerful mechanism because the objects of leads, contacts, accounts are very loaded in meaning, and using campaigns is a way to sort of level the playing field and make sure that everybody's talking about the same thing. Okay, so everybody remembers how the whole story is about seeking true love. And this is marketing telling sales, hey, I want to work really well together. And this is sales saying, stop with all the automated alerts. So I don't know if you have automated alerts used in your organization to pass leads to hand over leads in the MQL stage to sales. Our experience shows that these processes tend to break, you lose trust of sales, and you sort of create a lot of frustration within the organization because marketing passes leads, but they're not being really handled. And the last slide, the last example, again, is a mid-sized organization. And this is the case for organization using HubSpot for their marketing, all the marketing effort, managing all their campaigns. And although you can automate a lot of the things, and everything basically, including the sending of alerts and the creation of tasks and the assignment of campaign memberships, there is a case I want to make for not necessarily automating everything. Okay? And the short story here is that we're talking in an ABM context. Okay, marketing works a lot with contacts of accounts that are strategic accounts. We don't want any form submission or email click to result in an account executive getting an alert or getting a task open. So we leave a lot of room for marketing using using HubSpot workflows and using a very well-defined process to selectively indicate and pass over those campaign members, those leads who should be brought to the attention of the account executives. Okay? So different examples here, different cases of the same principles being used across different skills. So sales and marketing alignment, can we make it work? If we wish so. I believe we can.
Thank you very much.